Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the penultimate round in the championship. We are at Brazil for the championship division, and we have a sprint again. But this time we changed the format a little bit, as we will have a one-shot qualifying instead of a championship reversed grid. So one shot to decide the grid for the sprint, which we have, and there is points available for that as well. No points for pole position during the one shot. But yeah, and then of course the standard race as we had before. Now, as you can see, there are not a lot of drivers. That's because Simo, Smith, Scooter Clem, Rika, Haas, Oscar, Laur, Becker and Booty. So 9 people declined. Jeweler is the only reserve we have, but still both championship competitors in the race. As I look at the drivers championship, then only 2 points between Stubby and Giraffe. Stubby 2 points ahead of Giraffe, but then it's 34 points Entity in P3 behind Stubby, so he's still in this. Smith was close by, but he can't catch up. His teammate though, Matty, only 5 points behind. Can he pull something off after his win last week? Then Rika, Rodo, Becker are all not there, and as we started the one shot qualifying already, and it is difficult to change anything here because everyone, as it's Jeweler is out though, as everyone is so close by. We will have a look first at the qualifying then in a second. Yeah, okay, this is set up now. So yeah, currently Stubby ahead of the both Williams drivers. No points for this pole position lap as you normally have. We got points for the sprint, but let's see. So almost entering the final sector then, as this is a short track in Brazil, a classic track on the calendar, and we always visit Brazil most of the time near the end of the season, so we have had some championship deciders here before. Stubby ahead of everyone else onto the final corner, and Stubby is ahead, and Stubby is on pole for the sprint, so he has the advantage over his Entity. The Entity is done well, and he's still in this of course, and he needs to have a good result, and that is what he's showing. Then it's Rodo is in P3, not that far off. It's a very close qualifying. Glader is who's back, is in P4. Leaky P5. Giraffe, the championship contender, is down in P6. Then Rusty in P7, Kieran in P8, and Matty is in P9. So not a good start from the Mercedes team, but Julio was a reserve of course. But yeah, welcome everyone in the chat. I wanted to have a look at some more things, more standings. And one of them is the constructors, and I think, well, Williams is leading Mercedes by 55 points. So they could take, with only one Mercedes, I think they can get the title today, if I am correct, of course. Let's have a look at the all division as well, as we're waiting for everyone to ready up. And Williams is leading. They're ahead of Mercedes as well. Very big gap to the rest of the field. The Williams team, which I'm part of, doing very well. Good evening, Colin, my teammates, and good luck to Williams and Mr. Haha 95. I'm doing well. I'm doing better than last week. Maybe you can hear it. Sometimes still a bit sick, but yeah, it's just a bit of coughing. That's all. Apart from that, I'm doing better. Yeah, so I'm just glad to be back on the championship comms again. With next week is being Vegas, but we will see. As everyone has started for the sprint, 12 laps here, and I will have a quick look at the tires. So 3 guys on the mediums, both Williams and the Ferrari on the mediums, everyone else is on the softs. Interesting strategy, but we will mostly have a look at the position change, as that gives you an indication on how well everyone is doing on the sprint. Yeah, Vegas is it's going to be interesting. Of course, we haven't seen anything from it in real life. Well, from what I know in real life, that Las Vegas is a mess right now. So, I mean, it's great to race in Las Vegas because it's Las Vegas, you know. But it seems like there's a lot of downsides compared to the positive things it brings. So yeah, we will have to see next week, and it might be, depending on what happens today, the championship decided. So still a lot to play for in the championship, as I think we got the first and the Premier Division decided. Yeah, but we still have the championship to go, and normally it was the other way around. Championship was one of the first ones, because there weren't a lot of drivers. But yeah, it's great to see. And Colin saying, if you fancy some co-coms next week, I will join you for the season end on holiday, and they don't let us race in champs, so might as well help on comms. Oh, that would be lovely. For the championship, if we still have a championship battle, that might be one in the books, you know. Everyone in RPM needs to see the final decision, and hopefully we can make some sort of event of it to get as many people seeing. And still we haven't seen any red flags. That's a good point. Las Vegas might be the first one. Entity not ideally parked there on the grid, as everyone else is ready up. And Julia is the final one. I can't see the red lights, but they are off in the sprint. And let's have a first indication of what everyone's pace is around here. And it seems like a good start from Rodo into turn 1. And around the outside, he overtook Entity there. Better start on those. Oh, contact with the Alpine. And I feel like Ghosting is on again. Leaky is going round there. But Rodo on those soft tires. Better start than Entity on the mediums. But Entity might have the advantage near the end. Then Rusty moved up 3 positions there on the start into P4. The top 5 will get points. So a chance for Stubby here to gain more points on this championship rival. And those points could be crucial near the end of this the end of the season. Glader dropping down 2. Everyone else moving up a position, of course, because Licky dropped down. Then let's have a look. Rodo putting pressure on Stubby. Stubby will pick up 5, Rodo 4, Entity 3, Rusty 2, and Giraffe 1. But Entity, of course, needs to do well, because he's still in this championship fight. And if he could gain points on the championship leaders, he is still in this. And we might, if he can stay within those 26 points left at the final race, no, 27 actually, we could still see technically a 3-way battle for the championship on the final race between 2 teammates and 1 flying AlphaTauri. And Stubby did very well, to be fair, last week in championship. Unfortunately he ran in Premier Division, I should say. Unfortunately he ran out of fuel, which cost him a podium, but gave me one. But yeah, it's unfortunate for him, as he deserved to be up there in P2 twice in a row. Kieran dropping down. He's struggling a bit here on pace. He has been for most of the majority of the season. I'm still wondering what assist he's running. But yeah, my timetables are screwed up a bit, but we still can have a look at the positions as they are correct. But then Matty, he's got 2 medium runners ahead of him. But we're on lap 2 already. Let's see how the ERS is being conserved here, as Matty's using it a lot, and I think it's quite difficult to regain your ERS. I think that was the case. Stubby fastest lap 110.1 as the DRS is enabled. Number 99 in the Ferrari, under pressure now from the Mercedes behind. Both have DRS, not really using ERS. And yeah, Matty's close by. Also, I'm gonna look at Rodo. And Rodo, of course, he was the championship contender last season. He unfortunately lost out. No, the season before already, 2 seasons ago. I think he lost out here in Brazil, so he would want to get some sort of revenge maybe on his competitors, not necessarily Stubby, but he wants to get a good result because I don't think he has any wins this year. And he could move up, I think, into the top 5 of the championship. But he's within DRS then of Stubby. Oh, touched the grass there a little bit. Stubby's using a lot of ERS as well. Leaky 3-second time penalty, I think that has to do with track limits. But it's 3:10s now. And Rodo is putting a lot of pressure. Rodo can save his energy as well within the DRS. But he might go up and move up the inside. He's going up the inside. Whoa, just about avoided contact there. As Leaky overtakes Jeweler. Jeweler is of course the reserve. But yeah, Rodo putting pressure, and it was what Entity wants to see, of course. As the gaps are starting to become a bit bigger now. And Giraffe has a little train. But Entity can't really keep up just yet. Of course, the softs have the advantage in the beginning of the race. But yeah, Rodo still within that DRS. He's a bit closer than he was the lap before, but with this, you just need to be close during this part. He's using his overtake, but not a lot. Be close for this part because the next one is where you want to overtake, but he's going for it already on the main straight and into lap 5. It is Rodo taking the lead. But what can Stubby do? He now has the DRS for this back straight. Shorter line from Stubby, better exit. And will Rodo defend? Stubby's using some of his overtake up the inside. Will they give enough space? It's contact. Ooh, but they stay. This time they stay on the track. I think they've come together last season as well, Stubby and Rodo, at this exact corner. Or at least it was Stubby, I think, with someone else back when he was in Haas. But this time it works out, but in the meantime Entity is slowly closing in and Giraffe is closed up to Rusty, which is important, of course. But can Entity help himself and his teammate? Yellow flag in sector 2, that's Jeweler of the track. But this time it's Stubby close behind, and Stubby of course will probably overtake him here. 2/10 is what the gap is. Onto the main straight. Will Rodo defend? Rodo won't defend. He knows he can now counter back after turn 3 into the Senna S's. Watch out for the track limits, and he can follow back as Giraffe overtakes for P4. And I need to keep an eye out on the front as well. Here comes Rodo up the inside again. Oh, he's pushed Stubby a bit wide, and Stubby goes off the track, and I think he might have to give the position back. I don't know if he will, but that was might be a bit of pushing off the track. I don't know if that's just the nature of the corner. And Glader and Matty now fighting. Matty up the inside. Oh, they touched wheels. But yeah, Matty up to P6. He's moving up some positions here. Yellow flag, and that is Leaky, the Alpine. And yeah, Giraffe now ahead of Rusty. And the question is, can he stay ahead? But in the meantime, Entity now caught up to the front. Can Giraffe catch up? There's only 6 laps left. But yeah, Entity is now in this fight. And he will need to score some more points than Stubby. Because crucially, if he can score more points. Oh, Stubby's off into the wall, and he lost it. Oh, and that is a crucial mistake at this part. I can't scream too loud because some of my brothers and sisters are sleeping. But yeah, Stubby off now. Oh, and that is a big change in this championship fight again. We've seen some mistakes, and that's not what you need to do when you're in the championship fight. But that means that now Rodo is ahead. Entity in P2 and Giraffe is up to P3. So Giraffe will get 3 points, moves himself 1 point ahead of Stubby now, but crucially Entity gets 4 points and moves himself within 31 points of the championship lead, which means he needs to outscore the leaders by 4 points in the main race to make himself still a championship contender in the final round. Had he hadn't been a bit more lucky in Singapore, he might have been up there for this championship, but it isn't over. Entity now on those mediums. Does he have the advantage going into lap 8? Into turn 1. More ERS. And he goes a bit deep. Oh, and Rusty overtakes Giraffe again. Which is good for Entity, but not good for Giraffe. Going up the inside, he's not going for it. Giraffe is now back in P3, but his fighting will cost him a lot of time, as Matty is now putting pressure on Glader for the final point in P5. Stubby is and the fight for P5. I hope everything is alright now. I think it was Jules who made a mistake, but everyone is still going. But yeah. Oh, and now crucially, Rodo is outside of the DRS, and Entity has the tire advantage, so is the medium the better strategy? Entity will crucially get 5 points and moves himself within 30 now. He's almost there. For Giraffe, this isn't over. Currently, would jump ahead into the championship lead. And I saw Inorganic in the chat, I'm feeling better. And you're looking at Rusty right now. He's putting pressure on the podium here in the sprint. Oh yeah, and that's a good question. Will Entity be the team player? But is there enough time? There's only 3 laps and the gap is about 4 seconds. Of almost 5 seconds between Entity and Giraffe. But Entity, he is technically still in this fight, so will he go for it? That's the question. With a bit more luck. And mistakes from others, such as mistakes from Stubby, he might still be in this one, and he wants to win, of course, win one as well. Wow, close from Rusty there to Giraffe. But I'm just looking forward to this championship battle, as currently there's only 1 point with these final results between between the championship leaders. But if Rusty is overtaking Giraffe, which I don't see happening, well, right now the lead will be equal. And can we go to the final round equal on points? We don't know. Leaky again, 3-second time penalties. He's outside of the points. But here's Glader going for a move on P4. Rusty defends the inside, sticks his nose up the inside. Whereas Glader? Glader is there, a bit of contact. Rusty stays ahead. This is great for his Giraffe because he can pull away now. And Matty's still behind us, looking for that point. Yeah, Stubby, not good for your confidence as well. And you might have damage, I don't know. But yeah, the battle currently for P4 then on track. Rusty outside of the RS. Both no ERS to defend. Glader to the inside, the mediums are starting to get better now. But it's only lap 11. And Glader is passed into P4, some extra points for him. Rusty still in the points for the sprint. But it's only 1. Whoa, almost a run into the back of him, and it's contact! Oh, on the penultimate lap there. Contact between the guys in P5 and 6. And that means that Kieran now takes the point, the final point in P5. Stubby, this is also for positions. So, yeah, Matty won't be, Rusty won't be too happy with Matty there, as Matty I think made a bit of a dive there up the inside. But yeah, still points for Kieran now in the sprint, and it's 1 point, but it's also 2 positions. The Glader's putting pressure on Giraffe. Giraffe can't keep up with Rodo ahead. Will those final crucial points, which made him jump ahead in the championship, will he lose out to that on the final lap of the sprint? Looks like Entity is set to win this one with Rodo in P2. But let's see. There's a move. Matty is now back up to P6. But let's have a look at this battle on the final lap. This is for a podium. Giraffe moved up 3, Kieran moved up 3, and Matty up 3, and Stubby lost 7. Same for Leaky losing 4, so some big losers and some big jumpers. And let's see. Almost 9 seconds from Glader to Kieran behind. And will Stubby take P7, and there's a better grip position. Wow, the Glader struggling. I need to keep an eye on where Entity is as well. And Entity is doing what he wants to do. Still be in the championship fight as Glader lost it. Oh, at the inside. As Roda finishes P2. Giraffe picks up P3 and crucially 3 points more than Stubby. But, oh, there's a lot of positions being lost now as Kieran will finish P4 taking 2 points. Matty takes the final point. And over the line, wow, Stubby just behind in P7, but Glader losing out on the P4 and potentially P3 there, dropping down to P8 on the final lap. That's very unfortunate. Leaky finishes 9 and Jeweler will stay in 10. Well, what a sprint, crazy things happening there on the final laps. Kieran moving up from P7 to P4 in just 2 laps by just staying on track. Matty takes the final point. But yeah, the biggest difference is Stubby and Giraffe. But currently that would mean 30 points between the top 3 in the championship. There needs to be a gap of 27 or less for Entity to still be in this one. Technically, but then he will need to score the maximum points. Yeah, your sprint results then on screen. And Kieran saying that was lucky, and he's saying if he's so slow. Well, yeah. Just need to stay on track, that's the most important thing. And those are the results for the sprint race then. But let's see, Rodo had some good pace. But so did Entity, and Stubby lost it a bit after the mistake. So let's see if he can hold on to it. But Brazil now in the sprint has shown that there is a lot of potential for a great race. We are waiting for the grid to ready up. Round 11 of 12. Almost done with season 7. Just one final push before Vegas. But the question is, who will party the hardest in Vegas, or will we see a party tonight in Brazil? A very, very, very close championship fight. Now only 1 point between Giraffe and Stubby, an advantage to Giraffe again, as the positions are switching from 1 point to another. But the biggest it has been in the past, well, 2 or 3 races is I think 5 points, and that says enough about the competitiveness of the championship. It's a shame Smith isn't here, because he was technically still not that far off, and he could have shown, maybe with a bit of luck, to be still in the championship fight, but that's, yeah, he might have reasons for not being here, of course. And there we go. Now it's interesting to see what has everyone done in terms of strategy, and it's almost everyone on the mediums except for the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Now I know from maybe a little bit of insights that the medium to soft might be the strategy you want to take. We saw the softs could take 12 laps. I don't know what the tire wear was near the end there, but yeah, well, if you do 12 laps on softs, you will need to do 24 on either the hards or the mediums. But we will see how far they will take the mediums, and of course there is still a chance of that safety car coming out. I know it's only 10 drivers, but there is still a chance. Circuit Interlagos, meaning between the lakes, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. A famous track. We saw some crazy deciders here. We saw the championship being decided in 2012. The famous Alonso phase. We saw the ace that clock on the final corner with Lewis Hamilton claiming his first world championship, and many more to come afterwards. Kimi Raikkonen taking the championship the year before as well, whilst being quite far behind in the championship after a bit of bad luck from the McLaren guys. We see another champion being crowned, this time virtually in RPM. We will have to wait and see after 36 laps what will happen. Julia disqualified. That's just because of his grip position. As we are waiting for the lights, it's 5 lights in Sao Paulo, round 11, and they are off. And let's see who has a good start. It seems like Rodo got a good start again, up the inside for turn 1. Rodo is ahead of Entity. Entity trying to get back there up the inside, hasn't worked out just yet. Matty up to P4, but where's Stubby? He is in it somewhere as well. He's got Rusty on the outside, trying to go up the inside of the McLaren. He's made contact. Oh, pushing 2 guys off, and he's now stuck in the middle. Oh, crazy fighting on the opening lap. Oh, Kieran has to give the position back. I think there have been some illegal overtakes here, as Rusty's also letting someone past. Wow, Stubby back up to P7. I don't know what happened. I think they're just trying to give the position back, but I'm not sure if that was the right decision, as Stubby pushed them off. But we will see. Stubby, luckily no damage for him there, because that was a bit scary going into turn 4. But he's in P7, that's not the start he wants. If someone can give me a clear spreadsheet of the points, either in DM on Discord or in the chat here, that would be nice. I keep forgetting them, I can't find them. But in the meantime, it is Matty who's moving out to P3 ahead of the Giraffe. Interestingly, Entity, he's not 1.2 or 1 minute and 12 seconds behind, but that's a bit of a glitch in my timing stream then. Kieran now past Julia again. But now Stubby, behind Leaky, behind Glader, P7. Oh, he's stuck behind Leaky there, the Alpine driver. But this is not what he needs. Entity would love to see this though, as this result will probably mean he's still in it for the championship decider. But of course we will have to wait and see any potential reports as well. But yeah, let's see where we finish at after 36 laps, and then we can have a look, because currently there is still a long way to go. DRS is enabled. It's lap 3. And let's see what Stubby can do. He's behind Leaky and behind Glader. Glader's on those hard tires. And he's shown some good pace. He just made a mistake on the final lap of the sprint there. But let's see, Stubby, is he going up the inside? Is he going for Boulder? Is he staying behind? There's a long race ahead. Now better exit down from to turn 5. Does he have a better run up the hill? There's not a lot of space to overtake here. And if we just drive in the middle, there's no way to get past. Good defending from Leaky there. Will he go up the inside here? He will go up the inside. It's a bit of contact. But can he barge his way through there? He's now on the outside. Better grip maybe. Still hanging on in there, Leaky. But it's Stubby passed into P6 now. And he's moving up some positions. To P6. Leaky down in P7. It's Rusty in P8. Kieran in P9. But then DRS is now enabled, of course. Entity setting the fastest lap. He's putting pressure on Rodo. But as I said, Rodo, I don't think he has any wins this season. I will have a look just to make sure. We need to go to the championship. Race finishes. Oh, as Entity is going up the inside, I just missed that. Rodo might have made a mistake. I don't know. But Entity's now passed back into the lead again after staying behind for 3.5 laps or so. Matty's also catching up to this group. And what can Matty do? Can he go for a back-to-back win? To get some better momentum for Mercedes. Oh, it's a yellow flag and it's Glader who is off, and that's another position for Stubby. But did Stubby get involved with this one? He lost a lot of time and position. And I don't see he's lost his wing. But I think there might have been a collision here. As Rodo now going around the outside again of Entity. I hope someone can get the POV of Stubby there. But Stubby's not... Maybe the stress is getting to him. As I was saying, he hasn't won any of the last 3 races. And yeah, it looks like he's not winning this one today. But then again, Entity going back past Rodo again. And this fighting will continue probably for the entirety of the race. But I will have a look if I can see the results of Rodo. Rodo's best result is a P4. He hasn't scored any podiums yet, and he's looking at a potential win, which is great to see. It's another yellow flag, and it's Matty, and he spun round. Oh, there's a lot of happening. I need to keep an eye out on track, but I feel like he's stuck. I was just waiting. But yeah, that's crucial. And there's another position for Stubby then. Stubby now back up to P6. Back to the front. Both quite equal on ERS. But let's see. Giraffe can't really keep up. 3 seconds behind. It's the same situation as in the sprint. And again we switch positions. Entity taking a different line. Maybe Rodo waiting for him to go take that line. As Stubby is back past the P5. But let's see, into turn 4 again. Here we go. Outside. No, he's not going for it. Does he? Can he cross back like he did a few laps ago? No, he's staying behind. Rusty is also not going for it. That means that Stubby now up to P5. Oh, but he takes a 3-second time penalty. Oh, and Glader is out. He's lost it on. He's standing still on track. Oh, virtual safety car. And that's no points for the Ferrari, unfortunately. And with Jubiler being a reserve, meaning that if you just finish this race, you will get points for P8. Still decent points. Now, I hope someone has found the points and how it works. What the results are, because then I can have a bit of a better look what the results will be in going into the final race. But yeah, virtual safety car, as unfortunately later has lost it on those hards. I just maybe cursed him a little bit. Or he might have had rear wing damage. I don't know what happened during that little incident with Stubby. But Stubby's now... yeah, I know points top 12. I need to know the specific points. If someone can give it to me. So for position, I know it's 25-20 and then something. But it's a bit different than the real life one, so I keep forgetting. But yeah. Unfortunately, Glader lost out, but I don't know what happened with Stubby, but he now has a 3-second time penalty. And yeah, his race hasn't been going too well for him. Oh, Matty has a drive-through penalty then. At the same time as he lost it. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, caution again in turn 2. But he has a drive-through penalty and his race has gone from bad to worse there for the Mercedes driver. And this is also better for... I will take a screenshot of what you just sent me, so at least I know... Shit, I took put my stream out. I will take a screenshot of the points then. Let's see. Okay, now thanks you. Oh, your entity, watch out, mate. Bit of a mistake there. So 25-20, which means that entity would get within 28 points of Giraffe, which isn't enough just yet to take it to the final race. Stubby would lose out with his penalty right now. Speaking live, he would drop down to P7, and that would mean that he will get points of 8 points less than Giraffe, so Giraffe could take a 9-point lead into the final race. Also, it's looking more likely that Williams is getting the constructors tonight, and with myself and Colin as well tomorrow, Mike getting the constructors. It's looking... and the rule book, that's where it went. I saw like the little, I think it was just a separate section with points, and I couldn't find it. But yeah, thank you for saying it. I will now know where to look. But yeah, as I said, it's looking good for the Williams team, also in the all gears. Entity has caught up again to within a second, and in the DRS of Rodo. But then Stubby, if he finishes P5, he would only lose 4 points. Or if he finishes P4, he would only lose 2 points. So that would mean we still have a 3-point gap going into the final race. But we are almost at a third of the race. Entity following Rodo. Stubby behind Leaky. So, championship contenders chasing the Alpines. Alpine is doing well, P1 and P4 currently in the race. Oh, it looks like Stubby is struggling a bit there on the traction. But will he get past now? He's got a lot more overtake. Well, so does Leaky, to be fair. Leaky not using many of it. It's yellow flag in sector 2, and I think that's Matty again. Stubby still hasn't caught up just yet. Will he go for the move into turn 4? We know he likes to go up the inside here. He's a bit too far behind. But then again, Leaky, they've been behind each other before, but this time he is going up the inside. And Stubby is passed up to P4. And crucially behind his championship rivals. Entity really needs to win this race to still have a shot at the championship. And I need to keep... Oh, Chula, 5-second penalty for corner cutting, that's interesting. Entity probably made a bit of a mistake, but Leaky is still behind. I'll try to see if I can write down any scores on what is currently happening. I need to find a pen then. And I think I'll keep an eye out on what's happening as well. And I've got a pen, so it's Giraffe is the leader, then it's Stubby with +1, and then it's Entity with +30. Okay, that helps. Entity needs to score 4 more points than Giraffe. Currently it's only 3. Now let's see who has the fastest lap. That is Matty. That point going to him. I don't know how it works if Matty now DNFs and he keeps the fastest lap at the end. How that works, I'm not sure. But yeah, Leaky now just about outside of the DRS now. But Giraffe is closing in on Entity. And Entity is losing out on the battle with Rodo. Giraffe still about 3 seconds, the same gap as he had at the beginning to Rodo. So he's not catching Rodo. But maybe if Entity can let Giraffe get into the DRS, he can drag him along and they can fight, but let's see. I'll quickly see if I can. I still have some water here with me, and I hope it's alright. If I can, if there's still something in it, there is. Oh, that's refreshing. Okay, back into the race. Giraffe 1.1. We are past the point of the sprint, the distance of the sprint, which means we are 1/3 on the way of the race. And it is a long one, to be fair. Well, it isn't long, but 36 laps feels long, you know? But let's see. Question is, how long will those mediums last and what will their strategy be? Kieran down in P7. Someone is lost it. It's Giraffe. He's lost some time and he's struggling. And I can't see if he has any wing damage because it gives me this very weird camera view. Now he has another wing damage just at a moment, but that means the sub is now 1.5 behind and the gap he was closing in on then Entity is now what he lost. Lost about 2 seconds there. And Stubby's got right, and he sees his main championship rival now behind him. And we all know with this, the gap this close, with the penultimate round, things could get heated. But let's see. It's the Pool against the Giraffe, you could say. The AlphaTauri against Giraffe, the Williams. Kieran is having it's close to Rusty. Entity speeding in the pit lane. Oh, 5-second penalty, but he's gone in though. Lap 15, is this the turning point for the mediums? He's going in and he's taking a set of hards. So he will go to the end, but then those 5 seconds will be very annoying. He will... Yeah, he will need a safety car maybe to get those removed. But that will be crucial time loss anyway. 5 seconds, let's see how much he can push. Trying to go for the undercut. Well, the question is, will Rodo go in the next lap? 5 seconds, that's a crucial amount of seconds. And I know Entity will be fuming underneath his helmet there. Yellow flag! Oh, it's Giraffe has lost it! And it's a disaster for the Williams team. And that will mean that Stubby now is back into P2 as Leaky, oh no, Rodo comes in. Oh, Rodo speeds in the pit lane as well. What is happening here? The top 2 getting a 5-second penalty and the guy in P3, Giraffe, spinning, and this is all, well, coming into play now for Stubby, and Stubby is back into the lead on lap 16. Let's see Rodo where he will end up compared to the guys behind. There we got Entity, Giraffe has gone in as well. And I feel like Rodo's, he was 2 seconds ahead before the pit stop. This is now 1.8, but Rodo still needs to get some temperature in, and that would mean that Entity is getting closer, but Entity will see the same now that Rodo has a 5-second time penalty. But in front of him is Kieran, and he might get hold up here, and this is all playing into the hands of Stubby here. But Stubby has a 3-second time penalty himself. But look at how much time Giraffe has lost now. And we got Rodo trying to go around the outside. Switch back to the inside. He needs to take a very right-handed corner there. But he's ahead of Kieran. And now Entity is behind. And he has DRS, I think. But Rodo doesn't have any DRS. Can he counter back? It's about 7/10, but there's a car in between, and Rodo is close to it. Rodo is within a second of Rusty there. A fight for P3 on track. Jewelers into the pit lane, but here comes Entity. Entity needs to get past as soon as possible here. Up the inside, maybe Kieran still has DRS. He's braking late. Up the inside, beautifully done there from Entity, and he needs to because Rodo is getting away from him. But Rusty's not letting that happen. He's defending, and this is all in favor of Entity, but also the guy in the lead, Stubby, as Rodo is losing a lot of time. He's trying to overtake Rusty. Rusty's defending very well on those older hard tires. Now up the inside. Oh, Rusty closing the door a bit there, squeezing him up to the inside, and Rodo is now ahead, but Entity is not that far behind. And it's a bad exit for Rusty. Oh, I'm not picking up 3-second time penalty as well, but Entity is now past and he has DRS and he could immediately attack Rodo here. But let's see what will Rusty do. Rusty probably doesn't have the tires to go for it. No, he stays behind. Oh, Thomas running into the back of him. But now Entity, it once was 2 seconds before the pit stop, it's now 8/10 to Rodo ahead. Can he stay within that DRS? Giraffe now the fastest lap, and that is crucial for him. That's another point in favor of his championship, and he might have thrown it away for the second week in a row. I'm saying a roller coaster. This race is a roller coaster, only with 9 drivers, but still. And let's see. Leaky now outside of that 3-second time penalty of Stubby. And is Stubby going in or is he staying out? Stubby staying out. Is Stubby trying to go to the softs near the end then? He's losing a lot of time now as Rodo's catching rapidly there. Fastest middle sector, and he's now 1.4 ahead of Entity. He is flying on those hard tires. Rodo with the fastest lap as well. Well, 11.5. point 4, sorry. And with both 5-second time penalties, that means that Entity is now 1.6 behind Rodo again. Let's see, Kieran's still going strong, but Giraffe has a lot of time to catch up. He doesn't have any penalty though, so if a late safety car does come out, he is back into this. But currently, we would mean that Stubby would get 25 points, Entity 17, and Giraffe, crucially, only 9. This is not the end of the race, but that would mean that Stubby will be leading by 15 points coming the end of the race and into the next round. But of course Stubby still needs to go in, so he will be losing time, but he will have the better tires though at the end, and I think he's going to stay out as long as possible, as he's now already on lap 20, and Leaky's trying to do the same. So different strategies for the guys in the front, but let's see. So basically a pointless race for Mercedes so far, but still Matty points for P8 as Rusty's now going in on the hards, and he's pitting earlier than those guys on the mediums, which is an interesting strategy. But I think that the guys on the mediums will continue. Giraffe picking up an extra point, and he moves up another position, and that will get him 2, and with the fast lap 3 extra points in this championship fight. But let's see, I think he might catch Kieran though, as Kieran still needs to go in, so he's still on for that P5, potentially P4 if Leaky pits. But we will need to see. And I think it's a bit of a mistake from Stubby somewhere, as all of a sudden I saw the gap coming down from 4.8 to 3.6 if I'm not crazy. No, it's the same. Might have just been me trying to look at different gaps. Rodo 4.2 behind Leaky, his teammate, and Entity can't keep up with Rodo. Rodo's doing well, hasn't scored any podium yet, but this seems like this is his track. And he might get involved in this championship battle and cause some chaos points wise. Kieran into the pit lane, he speeds in the pit lane as well. And another 5-second time penalty. I probably, if looking at this, I need to practice my pit entry here, so as long as I don't pick up any penalties. And I think I've had it before here, because you're entering the pits quite fast there, basically coming off straight into the pits, which is not really the case, but you know what I mean. But Leaky's almost within the 3 seconds again of Stubby. Rusty ahead of Kieran. Kieran is on the softs, but he will need to do 15 laps on those softs. Can he do it? Fighting for P6. Let's see everyone else. Stubby, will he continue for another lap or will he follow in? Lap 21. Stubby is in. Race leader on track. He doesn't pick up penalty. Leaky follows him, and he's slowing down nicely as there. And that will mean that Rodo is now back into the lead. Entity is back into P2. The question is, where does Giraffe end up compared to Stubby and Leaky, who are on the soft tires now? And is it a bit too early? It's 14 laps. They did about 12 in the sprint, so they should be fine. But the tire wear, of course, at the end will be a big difference, but they will gain a lot during the first few laps on those softs. Giraffe ahead of Leaky in P4. And Stubby is in P3, and now he can set after Entity and Rodo. He needs to be just within 2 seconds of either of them to jump ahead of them, because Stubby has 3, Entity and Rodo have 5 seconds worth of penalties. Different strategies. Now we will get to see the result of that. Leaky is doing very well in P5. He's only 2 seconds behind Giraffe, and he's on better tires. So how long will it take to get ahead? As Kieran is also trying to go for a move on Leaky. Sorry, Rusty and Jeweler and Matthew. Oh, they're fighting. They're reserved. I don't know what they're doing. But he still hasn't pitted yet, I think. I mean, well, I was about to say he's a lap down, but he isn't. 8 tenths is the gap between Rusty and Kieran. Kieran has still almost 90% left on the ERS. He's not using any, but he is closing in into turn 1. Which way will he choose? No, he stays on the outside. He's getting quicker now on those soft tires, having more pace. And here he goes. Not using any DRS and still getting past Kieran up to P6 on track, but he still has that 5-second penalty. He needs to create a gap of 5 seconds. But can Rusty fight back? Matty 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane as he comes in for those softs, I think. But crucially, we need to see what the fastest lap is saying. And I think Stubby might take that. But I have a look at Leaky then. Leaky is putting pressure on Giraffe here, and he could help out Stubby massively. But let's see. Oh, Leaky almost going off the track there. Stubby with the fast lap at 10.1. Now Leaky is up to P4. Giraffe down to P5. 8 seconds is the gap to Entity. There's only 12 laps remaining. And can Stubby still win this race? Currently, Entity would gain 3 points on Stubby. He's 29 points behind, means he will be in 26 behind Stubby. And Giraffe is on for a P5, and he would get 7 points on Giraffe. And that would mean that there's 23 behind Giraffe. So, if these are the final results, which they won't be, Entity would still technically be in the fight for the championship going into Vegas. Still, the gaps are pretty close. Currently, Stubby P3, Giraffe P5. That's 4 points difference, means that Stubby would take the lead again by 3 points. And basically saying whoever finishes ahead next race wins the championship. But let's see, there's also some positions where there's only a gap of 2. 6.3 now, and he's closing in rapidly. And is Entity doing some work to defend or prevent Stubby from taking the win, because that's another crucial 5 points gain on Giraffe here. And they're of course in the, I think, in a party again together. And let's see. If they didn't have those 5-second time penalties, it would be a lot more different. But will we get a safety car though? That might be the case. Someone is a lap down, and I think it's Matty. Matty is a lap down now. Ooh, as he's struggling there. Matty, really not his race. Rodo still in the lead. But what can Leaky do compared to Stubby? If Leaky can get back into those 3 seconds, can he take another position, maybe help Giraffe in the championship fight? And how long can Stubby keep up? Fighting on those tires, because it will take a lot of life out of your tires, and he still needs to do another 10 laps on them. Wow, a bit of a moment from Giraffe. Struggling on those hard tires. They're reaching lap 10 now. They will struggle at the end as well, of course. The question is, who will struggle more? Stubby 4.1 seconds behind now. He's already 7 tenths losing on his personal best, so you can see the drop off is starting to get there now. To be fair, 10.1 was massively a massive gap, a massive lap. He's currently doing 11.4. Let's see, Leaky 11.9, and then crucially Giraffe at 13.0. So 1.6 per lap for Stubby. Oh, and someone's going off, and I think that's Matty. But that's a bit of a distraction for Rodo. I think Rodo let Matthew pass here. And Matthew of course on those soft tires, so he is quicker. But let's see, everyone is starting to close in now. And another 3-second time penalty might be killing. The question is, can Giraffe move back into the P4 position? Because currently Leaky is on that P4 position, and I have to say Alpine is looking strong for this one. The positive news for Williams though, after this one, they will be Constructors Champion, I think. No, most likely. Jeweler is in, he will be a lap down as well. Stubby, he still needs 1.5 to get back into the DRS or the position of Entity, but still not really closing in Giraffe. But let's see Stubby. Within 3 seconds now. 8 laps to go. And he only needs a second. If you look at penalties. There it is, penalties. Matty is on 8, but he will just finish P8. Oh! Matty's on 11 now. But Kieran, Rodo and Entity are all on 5. Stubby is on 3. Stubby will be very annoyed, because if he didn't have those 3-second time penalty, he was very close to the race win. Of course, same could be said for Entity and Rodo if not picking up speeding in the pit lane. Well, let's see. That car ahead. The Williams of Entity. The one for P2. And crucially, putting him out of a championship fight or position. Entity knows that. Probably. I don't know if he's watching or is he listening. 2.2. There's gonna be a moment that those soft tires will drop below 1:13. A lap time 1.13. The question is when. Because currently that's not the case. Let's have a look at Entity's lap time. Is 12.4. Stubby 11.8. Then next, Leaky is doing a 12.1, and then crucially, what is Giraffe doing? A 13.2. Giraffe's really lost a lot of pace here, which is interesting, because it looks like the maximum he will get is a P5. But Stubby now, almost within those 2 seconds, he is now, and he will jump up another position and crucially gain 7 points in this race on Giraffe. Now can Entity do something about this? 1.6. Fastest lap, by the way, also for Stubby. So that will mean he will currently score 21 points then. And that will definitely mean Entity is out of this championship fight. .9, 11.9, 1 second per lap is still the pace Stubby is catching. And it's unbelievable. Because that strategy really worked out for them. 13.2 is what Giraffe is doing. Now let's see, 1.1. The fight is on. Rusty getting past Kieran again for P6. Stubby. I said he had a terrible start, but he might be back onto. Of course, we have to wait for any potential penalties from the sewage room. Of course, in lap 1, dive up the inside in turn 3, it might get reported. And again, I don't know what happened with Los Gladiators. It seems like Stubby was also losing a lot of time there. But now within the DRS, it's 4/10. But crucially, it's almost Stubby getting past. But can he get past? He's waiting for the second part of this straight, you could say, through the center. As he's 2/10 behind now, and he will surely get past. But he's conserving his energy there. Now he's using it. Overtake around the outside, and Entity will go up the inside. Ooh, almost contact there. But Stubby's now up to P2 on track, as he would have already got it after penalties. But he needs to gain 1.8 to win this race. And will it be enough? Or can Rodo finally get his first podium and his first win of the season? Let's see. Leaky also needs 1.5 to jump ahead of Entity. Could we get a double Alpine podium maybe, and Williams not even being on the podium? We don't know. Let's see. Stubby really pushing now. He still has 50% of ERS left. The gap is 3.4. But when will his tires drop off? That's the question. Let's have a look at his lap time. Entity needs to watch out, otherwise he will drop off the podium. It's looking more likely every lap. Stubby is doing a 12.0. Entity 13.8. And what is Leaky doing? Leaky 12.6, so 1.2 per lap from Leaky onto Entity. And that would mean that next lap he's within those 5 seconds. Giraffe 12.8. Giraffe's picked up the pace again, but is it too late? Stubby 3.2. So we will follow him through here. Wow, difference in ERS as well. 1 second is all he needs. We need to see what Rodo is doing in terms of lap time. 2.9. Wow, Rodo feeling the pressure now. He needs to. He's 3 laps away from his win. But can Stubby take it away from him? The gap is about 3 seconds. Both using the overtake. Let's see Rodo's lap time. 12.5. 11.9. 6/10 a lap. And with that, I could see Stubby getting within the 2 seconds, maybe at the end of this lap, or at least in lap 35, 1 lap before the end of the race. But can Stubby hold it? Keep up the space, or has Rodo saved any of his tires here? It's a caution in yellow. It's Matty's retired. And will we get a safety car? No, we won't get a safety car. Matty doesn't score any points. No virtual safety car, no safety car. It's a bit too late. If he's done it a bit earlier, then we might have seen some chaos. 2.3. Oi, ay, 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 ay. Come on. Let's see this final decider. Who will get it? Stubby knows he just needs to be within 2 seconds to get this win. He's 2.1 right now, but he still has 2 laps to catch up. Rodo 12.5. What is Stubby doing? 11.9. Still the same gaps. Still the same gaps. Even after 13 laps on those softs. Can he hold on to the win, Rodo? Or is this just the point that he was looking for? That the moment that the softs are starting to go off and he just stays ahead. But imagine losing out on the win because you spat in the pit lane. That's really annoying. 2.2, but the middle sector, that's where Stubby is quicker. We know that. There we go. 1.9. 1.9 it is now. And this will be very close in on the final lap. It's 1.8. It's 1.9 again. Wow, it's about... This will be very close on the line, but I feel like Stubby has more in the tank. It's 1.7. Let's look at the gaps. Jeweler, 3-second time penalty. We don't care. Move out of my way. I need to see the time. It's at 12.6. And it is at 12.2. 4/10 faster, Stubby, but it is 1.8. What can Rodo do on this final lap to push out for that podium? Or for the win? And or could Stubby make an enormous jump into this championship lead and almost clinching the title before Vegas? It's 1.9. Oh, it's so close. It's 1.8, but still the middle sector has to come, and that's where Stubby is gaining some time. Leaky 3-second time penalty, and that helps Entity to secure that P3. Oh, it's 1.6 is not enough for Rodo. He needs something out of this final corner. 1.5, no, I think Stubby's got it. After all the odds being against him, it's 1.7, but it's 1.6 now on the straight. Rodo will come across the line first on track, but after penalties applied, it is Stubby taking the win in Brazil after a crazy race. Unbelievable. Entity finishes P3, Leaky will finish P4, it will be Giraffe in P5, we will have Rusty in P6, it will be Kieran in P7, and we will have Julia in P8. The fastest lap also going to Mr. Stubby, and Stubby still taking almost the perfect result there, and it is unbelievable. And I will have a look at the points then, and I hope there's no stewards involvement, because otherwise my calculation will be wrong. We know that Entity got 22 points, Stubby got 26 points, Giraffe got 3, and then I think 13, so 16. Well, my light is turned off. 16 points. Let's have a look at the championship. That would mean that my calculations need to be on point here. Stubby goes to 184. I think so, yeah. Giraffe will go to 172. Entity will go to 144. Entity is out of this fight. The championship will go down to the final race. The gap 12 points ahead. Stubby, after getting the win there on the final lap, and that is unbelievable. Let's have a look at the race results then. There it is. It was just enough to get ahead, and at the end it's 4.5 tenths, and that's crazy. Entity finishes on the podium, though he will still get some decent points, as I think Williams got the constructors title. Leaky just finishes outside of that unfortunate podium position, but Giraffe finishes in P5, and seeing his championship rival come back to win must hurt him quite bad. It's Rusty in P6, good points from him. Kieran in P7, well done. Jeweler as a reserve in P8, but he will be removed, and then unfortunately a DNF from Matty and Glader. But yeah, that's it, and that would mean that Stubby is going into the final race 12 points ahead. Now, as you said, I'll have a look at the standings. 12 points, that would mean that if Stubby has the fastest lap and finishes in P5 or higher, he will win this championship, depending on the pole position, and that is all he needs. Now, there's not a lot of drivers in the championship, so it's looking good for him, but still, it's Vegas, anything can happen. It's a new track, we don't know how it will play out, but for now I want to thank you all for watching this crazy race in Brazil, the penultimate one, and make sure to check the final championship decider. I hope we can get in as many people that are watching, and if there's any admins that we can get some sort of hype to watch the championship decider. Yeah, and for now I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Yeah, and we will see you. I will see you all next week. We will be there tomorrow again. Make sure to watch that, and hopefully me in the Williams can together with Colin, we can get the constructors clinched again, which I'm very proud of. And hopefully I can beat my brother, because I'm only 6 points behind. So make sure to watch that one. And for now, I want to thank you all for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And see you all in the championship decider in Vegas. Bye bye.